Have you ever walked away from an argument with your man and thought, did I just push him further away? Or worse, what if this changes how he sees me forever? Here's a truth very few women know. It's not the fight that damages a relationship, it's what happens after. Psychologists call it the repair phase, and according to multiple studies, it's the #1 predictor of whether love lasts or fades. And here's the twist. A man doesn't decide to stay loyal when things are good. He decides when you both feel disconnected, and he sees how you handle it. So, today, I'm going to show you the one thing you can do after a disagreement that makes a man feel emotionally safe, deeply connected, and more loyal than ever. This isn't manipulation, it's not a trick, it's neuroscience, emotional bonding, and the power of your feminine energy at its most grounded. So let's unpack why this matters and how just one small shift after an argument can make him say to himself, "She gets me. I want to hold on to this woman." Now, before we go deeper, I want you to know this. This video isn't about avoiding conflict because, let's be honest, even the most loving couples have misunderstandings, raised voices, hurt feelings, emotional disconnects. That's not the problem. The real issue? Most women don't realize how differently men process conflict and what they need emotionally after it. You might think giving space is helpful, or that talking it out immediately is the solution, or that if he doesn't come toward you first, he must not care. But here's the truth. If you understand what happens in his brain and body during and after conflict, you'll see that men are wired for loyalty, but only when they feel emotionally safe again. So by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to do in those tender post-argument moments to bring you closer, make him trust you more, and strengthen the emotional bond that makes him want to stay and stay forever. Let's begin with the psychology, how men emotionally process conflict. First, you need to understand this. Men are biologically and neurologically different when it comes to processing emotional stress. During a heated argument, a man's body often goes into what scientists call emotional flooding. That means his heart rate spikes, his brain's rational center shuts down, and his nervous system basically screams, "I need to protect myself." This isn't because he doesn't care. It's because men are taught culturally and neurologically to see emotional conflict as a threat to their identity, their control, and even their masculinity. While many women seek connection during or after a disagreement, a man often seeks space to emotionally regulate. But here's the trap. If that space turns into silence, or coldness, or withdrawal from you, his subconscious starts to associate emotional intimacy with emotional danger. That's when loyalty starts to erode, not because of the fight itself, but because he doesn't feel emotionally safe after the tension has passed. In one landmark study by Dr. John Gottman, couples who successfully stayed together didn't avoid fighting, they simply had a powerful skill. They repaired faster. They knew how to reconnect after conflict in a way that felt safe and non-threatening. And for men, that reconnection isn't just nice, it's critical. Because when he feels like he can mess up, get emotional, or even say the wrong thing and still feel your calm, grounded love after, that's when he bonds. That's when he thinks, I've never felt this kind of safety with a woman before. And that's when loyalty isn't a decision, it's a feeling in his nervous system that says, I'm staying right here. So the real question is, how do you become that woman? The one who knows exactly how to show warmth after conflict without chasing, without begging, and without pretending nothing happened. In the next section, we'll break down the one powerful behavior that rewires his brain for trust and loyalty, even after an emotionally intense disagreement. But for now, just remember this. Men don't stay because there's never tension. They stay because after tension, they feel safe, understood, and emotionally connected again. And you, as a woman, have more power to create that than you realize. If this first part opened your eyes to how men process emotional tension, just wait until you see what actually makes them bond deeper than ever after conflict. The loyalty trigger, emotional softening, the reconnection response. So what is this one thing you can do after an argument that makes him stay loyal? It's not apologizing first, it's not fixing the problem right away, and it's definitely not giving him the silent treatment. It's something called emotional softening. Let me explain. Men don't respond well to pressure or confrontation when their nervous system is still activated. That's why immediately trying to talk it out can sometimes backfire because their mind is still in survival mode. But what does get through, what melts the wall, is nonverbal softness. Psychologists have found that men interpret tone, body language, and energy far more deeply than words in moments of post-conflict tension. So instead of pushing a conversation or analyzing the fight, try this. Lower your tone, soften your facial expression, physically relax your body, your shoulders, your hands, your jaw. Let your presence say, I'm here, I'm not your enemy, we're okay. It's subtle, but incredibly powerful. Because when you shift your energy like this, you do two things. One, you signal to his nervous system that the threat is gone. Two, you invite him back into connection without force. It's the same technique therapists use in emotionally focused therapy, EFT, to help couples rebond after conflict. And it works because it bypasses the logical brain and speaks directly to the emotional one. Remember, men don't just listen with their ears, they feel with their bodies. And when you create a moment of emotional calm, they naturally lean in. This moment is your opening. It's when you can reach across the gap, maybe with just a soft, I'm here, a hand on his arm, or even just silence, but safe silence. He might not respond immediately. That's okay. You're not doing it for a result. You're doing it to create emotional space where his loyalty can breathe and expand. Why this works, the neuroscience behind bonding. Now let's look at why this softening works so well. When a man is emotionally charged after conflict, his amygdala, the part of his brain responsible for detecting threats, is on high alert. But when he sees your calm, your openness, your gentle presence, it activates a part of his brain called the ventromedial prefrontal cortex, which is responsible for emotional regulation and bonding. That's when his body goes from tension to safety, from fear to trust, from separation to connection. In that moment, he's no longer fighting. He's remembering that you're his safe place. And that is when loyalty takes root. You're not controlling him. You're creating the conditions where his natural loyalty can flourish. And here's something even more powerful. Men mirror emotional energy more than they admit. If you bring fire after fire, he'll burn out. But if you bring water, calm, warmth, grace, he cools, he softens, and he returns to you. What to avoid after a fight so you don't break the bond. Now that you know what to do, here's what to avoid after an argument. 1. Don't emotionally punish him. Silence, cold stares, pulling away physically. These might feel like protecting your own heart, but to a man, they signal rejection or abandonment. That breaks trust instead of building it. 2. Don't force a resolution right away. He might need more time than you do. If you chase closure too fast, he might feel overwhelmed and retreat even more. 3. Don't test him. Avoid seeing if he'll come after you as proof of love. Loyalty doesn't grow through games. It grows through emotional maturity. Instead, lean into emotional leadership, not control, but grounded, soft leadership. When you can say, not with words, but with energy, even when we argue, I still choose closeness. He will feel something few men ever feel, emotional safety with a woman. And when he feels safe, he stays. He commits. He chooses you again and again. Final thought, the loyalty is built in the moments after. So many women believe they need to convince a man to stay loyal, to prove their worth, to get everything perfect. But that's not it. A man becomes loyal not when you avoid problems, but when you show him through your emotional grace that conflict doesn't mean disconnection. That's what makes him think she's the one I can fight with and still feel loved. She doesn't shut down. She doesn't punish. She brings me back home. That kind of woman is rare. That kind of woman becomes unforgettable. So the next time you argue, remember, loyalty isn't built in the apology. It's built in the energy that follows. And you, calm, grounded, and emotionally aware, hold the key. If you found this eye-opening, imagine how powerful your connection will become once you start using this every time conflict arises. Hit subscribe now, and let's build bonds that not only survive the storm, but come out stronger on the other side.